What's up? This is Justin with Amouage Intense. Today I have a list of LATTAFA fragrances for you. All of these are epic. LATTAFA has been very impressive these last few years. And so these are pretty much my favorites that I've tried. I haven't tried all of them. There's a ton of them. But of the ones that I have tried, I guarantee you would be happy with any of these. They all happen to be clones. So if you like the original, then you're going to dig these. As we get going, let me know in the comments, what would you add to this list? And of course, please subscribe to my channel. Help me get to 1,000. I'm a pretty new channel, but in about, I guess, 4 months or so now, we're getting closer to 1,000. So help me on that journey. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this list. The first one that we'll mention, let's see, this is one that depending on where you are, it might be almost too warm for this one, but if you're still in a place that has winter here in late February, this beauty right here, Badi Al Oud for Glory, which is a clone of Initio's Oud for Greatness. This is a beautiful oud fragrance. It's a clone of that fragrance, which has been very popular itself. And what you're going to get with this one is, of course, oud being the standout note, but also you've got some spice, you've got some nutmeg, you've got some saffron. The oud is not, it's not unpleasant or animalic. It's a little bit medicinal, but when you add in that spice, this is a beautiful, very strong, very good performing clone of Initio's Oud for Greatness. You can't go wrong. And if you've never tried oud, the price point on this one is excellent. I've seen it as low as the low 20s, but I think it's around $30 now. This is a great entry-level oud, and I would really encourage you to check it out. The next one, this is one that could be worn probably 3 seasons. I don't think I'd wear it in the heat of summer, but for spring, fall, winter, this one is going to do you right. And this one is Amber and Leather. And this one's actually under the Maison Alhambra label, which is kind of an offshoot of LATTAFA, but still produced by LATTAFA. They have some great fragrances in that line at really good prices. I think I paid $12 for Amber and Leather on fragrancebuy.ca, and this is a clone of Tom Ford's Ombre Leather. So Amber and Leather, Ombre Leather, I think you get it. And so what you're going to get with this one is a very wearable leather fragrance. You've got leather that smells like a new leather jacket, but you've also got in this one some cardamom right off the top. Of course, you've got violet leaf, which helps to give it that kind of amber accord. You've also got, I actually got the notes because I wasn't sure. There was a few notes I wasn't sure about, but this one also has some jasmine, it's got some amber, and it's got patchouli. And definitely the amber gives it a little bit of sweetness that you're going to pick up on, and the patchouli is noticeable as well, that kind of dark, mysterious vibe. I mean, this is a great fragrance. Ash on Gent Scents says Ombre Leather is a DNA for people who don't like leather fragrances. I don't know that I would go that far because it smells like straight up leather with a little spice and a little sweetness, but it is definitely more wearable, more maybe mass pleasing than something like Tuscan Leather or something like some of the Memo fragrances. It's a great intro leather fragrance for anywhere from $12 to $20. You can't beat it. A great clone of Ombre Leather. Next up, this is one that you could pretty much wear all year round, summer included. This one isn't really a clone, but it's kind of like a fragrance that you're familiar with. This is Kayed Al Fursan. And what you're going to get with this one, Kayed Al Fursan, is a pineapple bomb. That's what you're going to get in the opening. It smells like you've just cut into fresh pineapple. You've just opened a can of crushed pineapple. I mean, it is a beautiful fragrance. But it's not only pineapple. You're also going to get some darkness in the mid and the dry down that makes this one, I think, incredibly versatile. It absolutely works in the winter, in the fall, and the spring, and that, of course, pineapple brightness makes it great for the summer. But this has some punch. This is a very strong fragrance. It's easily a 10-hour fragrance, and it projects. It's got incredible sillage. And this is another one that you can get really cheap. I think I got this one on Amazon, if I'm not mistaken, for around $25. And this is a fantastic fragrance. It's going to remind you a little bit of Aventus. The differences would be the notes in this one. Of course, you're going to get the pineapple in the top. You're also going to have saffron with the pineapple, giving it a little bit of spice, sort of a little foretaste of what's to come with what you're going to get towards the dry down. And then in the mid, you've got jasmine and balsam fir, and in the base, you've got amber, cedar, and oud. And the amber, I think, provides a little bit of sweetness. The cedar, there's definitely a little bit of woodsiness, but the oud with that cedar provides a darkness in the base of this fragrance that is so unique and just really awesome with that pineapple. The pineapple lasts all the way through, and really you can pick up those woods and oud pretty much immediately when you spray it on. So this is a great fragrance. If you like Aventus, you'll like this, although it's not a clone. It's not even like probably 70% like Aventus, but it's definitely in that same style, and it is a killer fragrance and an original by LATTAFA. Next up, we're going to go with another clone. This is a clone of maybe my favorite fragrance on the planet. There's a few that kind of vie for that top spot. One of them is Yves Saint Laurent Y EDP. EDP is my favorite so far out of the line, but I haven't tried EDP Intense yet. This is LATTAFA Facar Black, and it's a clone of Y EDP. It's got a little bit of a vibe of maybe like Y Live or maybe even the original Y. And the reason I wouldn't say it's a perfect clone of Y EDP is because Y EDP has a very aromatic herbal heart that this one has, but just not to the same degree. And so what you're going to get with LATTAFA Facar Black is something very close to Y EDP, but the very green heart with the what are those notes called that I'm blanking on? Yes, sage and juniper berries. The sage and apple in the opening of Y EDP, you're definitely going to get that. But to me, the sage and the juniper berries, that green heart of the EDP of Y, kind of become the star of the show. This one, the aromatic heart is kind of tamped down and the sweetness is kind of ramped up. There is a certain almost floral quality of Y, and you're going to get a little more of the floral quality, a little more of the sweetness than you will in Y EDP with a little less of the aromatic heart. But I would still say that Facar Black is probably like 90% Y EDP. It's a great clone. What I often do is I'll wear Y EDP on one side and I'll wear Facar Black on the other side, and it works great like that. All right, I got a couple more for you. This next one, this is a clone of By the Fireplace. So the Mason Martin Margiela line replica fragrances. This one's a clone of By the Fireplace. It's called Amir Al Oud Intense. This is a beautiful, smoky, sweet fragrance that's really going to remind you of sitting by the fireplace or the campfire roasting marshmallows. You've got this burning woods accord right from the beginning, and you've got this marshmallow sweetness right from the beginning. And one thing I will say about this one is in the mid and the dry down, some spiciness starts to come out that is amazing. A couple of my kids really love this one, a couple of my sons, and they absolutely love it, and they'll wear it around the house And, you know, you'll walk around the whole upstairs and it will smell like Amouage Intense or By the Fireplace. And this is pretty close to By the Fireplace. It's maybe a little bit sweeter, maybe a little bit smokier, but again, it's probably 90% there. And it's a amazing performer. This is another probably 12-hour fragrance. And so some of the actual notes that you're going to get with this one would be, let's see here. You're going to get in the top woodsy notes and oud. In the mid, you're going to get vanilla and sugar, and the vanilla and the sugar are what provide that sweetness, and it is sweet, but to me, that's a positive. And then in the base, you're going to get more oud, sandalwood, and a little bit of herbal notes, a little bit of aromatic qualities. I would say this is not an oudy fragrance per se. It's a smoky, woodsy fragrance. That's how the oud comes across, and this is a great pickup. Definitely more appropriate for winter and fall than it would be for spring and summer. All right, our final fragrance. This one's another clone. That's kind of what LATTAFA is really good at, and they've been getting better and better these last couple years. This is one that's become a really insane hype beast, and it's been hard to find. But if you'll watch like Chaos Fragrances community tab, he'll usually let you know when this comes in stock, or just keep an eye on fragrancebuy.ca, and you will be able to pick up LATTAFA Comra, which is an amazing clone of By Killian's Angel Share. And so it's a boozy, sweet fragrance with some woodsy qualities and a little bit of spice, a little bit of cinnamon. The actual notes that you're going to get in this one will be cinnamon and nutmeg and bergamot in the top. And I don't really get a lot of the fruity quality, just a little whenever you spray it on. But those spices, the cinnamon and the nutmeg, automatically just take you into another realm. This is a very strong fragrance. And then once you get to the mid, you've got dates, praline, tuberose, and mahanial. I don't know what mahanial is or what it smells like, but dates and praline, you're adding more sweetness now to this fragrance, and it is beautiful. It's got a little bit of a similarity to Amouage Intense. I think the way that the woodsy notes are used are similar, and that sweetness as well is similar. And then finally, once you get to the base, you've got some vanilla, which is very noticeable. You've got some tonka bean, which can smell very vanillic, pretty sweet. And then you've got benzoin, myrrh, and akigala wood. And so you've got plenty of woods. You've got some resins in there. I will tell you that Comra is a very sweet fragrance, and it's a very powerful, long-lasting fragrance. It projects wonderfully. You've got a scent bubble you're engulfed in for 4, 5, 6 hours, and it will last on your skin for 12 hours. First time, the day that I got this, I sprayed it on before bed, and first thing I smelled when I woke up 7 hours later was just this cloud of Comra. And so this is a really good one, a great clone of By Killian's Angel Share. So that was my list of my favorite LATTAFA fragrances. There are others that are good that I could have put in here, but to me, this is kind of the cream of the crop. Each one of these has gotten a good amount of hype for a good reason. But let me know in the comments, what would you add to this list? And again, please subscribe to my channel. I've been averaging about 3 videos a week and shorts, usually 1 or 2 a day. And so thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.